But when he found out, he got word back to the Ravens that he preferred not to go to a place where he would be competing and backing up Lamar Jackson. He wanted to be in a place that he could play. And so when the Ravens got that message, they pivoted, went a different direction with the 141st overall selection. And 3 picks later, the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders, who will be in Baltimore today, where he could have been spending his NFL career if he were willing to back up Lamar Jackson, preferred not to do that. And so Shedeur Sanders will make that trip to Baltimore today. Could have been a Raven, but he's a Brown, 3rd string on the depth chart, Randy.
Shefty, I mean, the intrigue of Shedeur Sanders and the story of that weekend at the draft just sort of never ends. And so here we hear this, that he chose not to go to Baltimore. Teddy, reaction?
Yeah, you want to go somewhere where you compete to be a starter. That's me. I mean, I don't play quarterback, but I hear that. Listen, I just want to go to any team where I can compete, being behind Lamar Jackson, or I just want to be a starter. Where can I compete to be a starter? I think that's what Shedeur was thinking there.
Does it make sense to you, Randy, for him to say, Lamar's there, he's going to be there for a decade, it's not a place I'm going to get a chance to play? Do you think it's a sensible choice?
Let me piggyback off of Teddy. You talk about Lamar Jackson's going to be probably retired with this organization. So if the backup does get in, he's in for garbage time. So I can see why Shedeur Sanders made that decision. I want to go compete for a job and get out there and play as a rookie.
Yeah, I think this is insane, right? Like, if this is true, I think this is crazy, right? At this point, you're in the 5th round. I understand you had higher hopes, but you've dropped to the 5th round, and you're thinking about being a starting quarterback the next year. I think this is incredibly short-sighted. Like, if you're in this situation, you want to go to an organization that is going to develop you, right? Here you have the Baltimore Ravens, the model of stability in the NFL. This regime's been together for how many decades now? And actually has a track record to develop quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Lamar, right? Instead, you choose the Cleveland Browns because you think you have a chance to start the next year. And mind you, the Cleveland Browns, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to stability, right? This is the same organization that walked away from Baker Mayfield as the number 1 pick in the draft.
Before the game, Adam Schefter dropped a bomb. The Ravens were planning to draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st pick. But before the Ravens could turn the card in, Shedeur let it be known to Baltimore that he didn't want to be on the roster with Lamar, where he wouldn't have a chance to play anytime soon. Shedeur did not want to be drafted by Baltimore and preferred to end up in a place where he might have a better chance to play sooner. The Ravens instead drafted an offensive lineman, Carson Vinson, with the 141st pick. I'm just go ahead. Shedeur was asked about it after the game. My response is I'm focused on the now. I don't really talk about anything in the past, and whatever happened in the past, it is what it is. I'm more focused on the now. I'm more focused on how the game that we just gonna ahead and figuring out how to move forward from now. You wouldn't even believe my memory. Don't even go back that far. So yeah, I don't even remember anything post-draft. I remember I'm here. I go to practice every day, and it's a 24-hour rule. It serves no purpose in my life.
Yeah. Hey, we don't even have that kind of power coming into a draft, though. As a player, you saying where you don't want to go, you don't have that kind of power.
Well,
you don't.
Let me tell you something about the Ravens. I don't know Shedeur's situation. The Ravens, I can only speak to what I know. I know Ozzie, I know DeCosta, and I know the owner, Steve Bisciotti.
Yes, sir.
When T.O. was supposed to go to the Ravens, and he said he didn't want to go.
He said he named.
They obliged. They obliged him.
Yeah.
They said, you know what? Don't worry about it. Boom, boom, boom. The NFL and them, they worked out some type of agreement. T.O. ended up in Philly. If he said this, they would have obliged him.
Well, the Ravens were preparing to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st overall selection. And then they got word, obviously, that he would prefer not to be in a situation where he's in a quarterback room with Lamar Jackson, who's entrenched as the most valuable player, where he's not going to get the chance to play anytime soon or compete for the starting quarterback job. And so he let it be known that he preferred to pass on that opportunity. The Ravens went in a different direction. And then 3 picks later, Shedeur Sanders goes to the Cleveland Browns, where obviously he has a better chance to get that job at some point in time. We'll see how it plays out over time. He didn't know where he was going to go at pick 141, but in Baltimore was something that at that time did not overly appeal to him.
Yet none of us can look at Shedeur Sanders and find extreme fault with his position. Lamar Jackson, let's not talk about him like he's a quarterback and stop there. He's a superstar. Two-time league MVP. Okay? This dude is considered one of the greatest we've ever seen. And he's 28. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And when you take a job as a backup quarterback in Baltimore, barring injury, you assume you're going to be holding the clipboard and you're going to be practicing. But you're almost never going to play because that brother's not going anywhere. Nobody's supplanting him. And so if you're Shedeur Sanders and you're looking at it from that standpoint, you're coming out of Colorado, you just completed 70% of your passes. Once upon a time, you were projected to be a top 2 to 3 quarterback taken in the upcoming draft before things nosedived. Your mentality is that you have a chance at playing sooner than later on various teams in the National Football League.
A projected top 3 quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, crashes to the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft like a falling star. The Baltimore Ravens, with pick 141, are poised to claim the Colorado Phenom's 70% completion, 3,926 yards, 35 touchdowns. But in a move that rocks the league, Sanders slams the brakes. Not behind Lamar Jackson, he signals. I won't sit. Baltimore pivots, grabbing an offensive lineman. 3 picks later, Cleveland snags him at 144. Now, as the 0-2 Browns limp into Baltimore after a 41-17 Ravens thrashing, the irony burns. Shedeur, third-string clipboard holder, could have been a Raven. This isn't just a draft miss, it's a clash of ego and destiny that could haunt a legacy. How does a prodigy torch his shot at stability? Let's dive into that fateful call. Shedeur was no ordinary prospect, 3,926 yards, 35 TDs, Dion's DNA. Mock drafts crowned him top 3, but whispers of attitude and mechanics tanked his stock by 27 spots. By round 5, the Ravens saw a steal, not a Lamar heir. Jackson's a 28-year-old, 2-time MVP with 5,258 rushing yards, but a developmental gem. They'd signed Cooper Rush for $6.2 M over 2 years, backup secured. Sanders? He was trade bait, a cheap spark to flip later. But when Baltimore called, Shedeur's camp said no, craving a starter's shot over clipboard duty. That no wasn't just bold, it was a bombshell that changed everything. Lamar Jackson isn't just a quarterback, he's a 6'2 supernova, untouchable for a decade. Shedeur, 22, saw the shadow and balked. He wanted to play, ESPN's Adam Schefter revealed, dropping the mic. Cam Newton erupted. Snubbing Lamar's mentorship? Insane. Fans split, some praised the guts to chase a starting job. Others slammed the 5th-round audacity. In Baltimore, you learn from a legend. In Cleveland, you drown in dysfunction 0-2, 237 yards of offense in a 41-17 rout. Shedeur's defiance. A gamble that screams danger, but the Ravens' plan wasn't what it seemed. Let's uncover their real play. Baltimore didn't want a backup, they wanted a bargaining chip. Per The Athletic, the Ravens stalled at 141, probing Sanders' camp. Will you join us? His no killed it, they wouldn't draft a distraction. The vision? Develop Shedeur. Dazzle in camp, trade to a QB-hungry team. At 5th-round cost, it's genius insurance or profit. Cleveland's Andrew Berry mirrored the bet, but the 0-2 Browns are a graveyard for dreams. Shedeur's snub traded stability for chaos. And the NFL's watching. Now in Baltimore, the ghosts of that choice haunt the field. The 14th of September 2025. Ravens crush Browns 40-17. Lamar's 285 yards and 3 TDs mocking Shedeur's third-string exile. It is what it is, he shrugs post-game. But the regret screams. Stephen A. roars. Backup Lamar beats rotting in Cleveland. The Ravens, 2-0, are a dynasty. The Browns, 0-2, a circus 8 QBs in a decade. Shedeur's dream of starting. Buried in a system that chews up talent. The pain's raw, the stakes brutal. The fallout's explosive fans and legends are tearing into it. Fans erupt. Shedeur's got guts. Why waste years behind Lamar? Others rage. Fifth, round diva. Ravens mold stars. Browns break 'em. Dion's shadow looms. Did he fuel this entitlement? Unk and Ocho demand a start now. But Cleveland's a trade trap too. The Ravens respected the snub, like Terrell Owens' Philly escape. But at what cost? You feel it, the ambition we all chase. Crushed by football's cold truth. This divide splits the sport's soul. One question lingers: will Shedeur rise or ruin? Shedeur's saga screams a warning. Ambition cuts both ways. Ravens roll, Browns rot. Yet the thrill hooks you. What if this fuels his fire? Praise his 70% arm, curse his gamble. Next week, does Cleveland unleash him? Trade rumors swirl. Patriots? Giants? You, from 20 to 60, crave the drama. Reject to ruler, or prodigy to ghost. Stay locked. The NFL's arena spares no one.